जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिकाचार्य अस्तु तत्सत् श्रीमद् एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिकाचार्य अस्तु तत्सत् श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की वृंदावन सठ गोस्वामी प्रभुवन की प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की, ब्रजभूमि मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So before starting, we will recite some prayers for the mercy. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamritam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Sapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-padakam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Savadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvatukam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Saktikam Nityanandam Aham Naumi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinamam Pradam Devam Avaduta Shiromani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratsve Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naran Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavatu Sevaya Bhagavati uttama-śloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Makam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayati Giri Yat Kripatam Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tassat Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from first canto, 18th chapter, verse number 4. So please repeat after me. Nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathā-amṛtam syāt sambhramo anta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo anta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo anta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam. Once they can recite Hare Krishna. nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo nta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo nta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam. Vaishnavis, nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo nta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam nottama-śloka-vārtānāṁ juṣatāṁ tat-kathāmṛtam syāt sambhramo nta-kālepi smaratāṁ tat-padāmbujam. Okay, so word to word, please repeat after me. Na, never. Uttama-śloka, the personality of Godhead, to whom the Vedic hymns sing. Vārtānām, of those who live on them. Juṣatāṁ, of those who are engaged in. Tat, his. Kathā-amṛtam, transcendental topics about him. Syāt, it so happens. Sambhramo, misconception. Anta, at the end. Kāle, in time. Api, also. Smaratāṁ, remembering. Tat, his. Pada-ambujam, lotus feet. So now translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the Personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their lives. Purport. The highest perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of one's life. This perfection of life is made possible by one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by liberated soul like Sukadeva Goswami or someone in that line of disciplic succession. There is no gain in hearing the Vedic hymns from some mental speculator. When the same is heard from an actual self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission, everything becomes transparently clear. Thus, a submissive disciple is able to live transcendently and continue to the end of life. By scientific adaptation, one is able to remember the Lord even at the end of life, when the power of remembrance is slackened due to derangement of bodily remembrances. For a common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death. But by the grace of the Lord and His bona fide devotees, the spiritual masters, one can get this opportunity without difficulty, and it was done in the case of Maharaj Parikshit. Hare Krishna. So before speaking anything, I seek blessing from all the devotees assembled here. So please bless me so that I can say something meaningful, which can lead to my purification and my own application in my life. Hare Krishna. So a very important slok and very important chapter also, as every chapter is very important. But this, as all the Vaishnavas, all devotees, they're aspiring for that how we can depart from this material world, how we can end our this cycle of birth, old age, disease and death. So for that, all the devotees, they are aspiring, and this is a very perfect example for all of us, that how we can also live this body in a very nice way. So in today's section, we will Yes, so today's section we will discuss about two sections. One is that how to remember Lord Krishna, and then the importance of hearing. So as from here we are able to see that very nicely in the slok it is said that juṣatāṁ, that how a devotee is engaged in hearing the transcendental topics. As it is starting from the previous sloka, here it is said, furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyas, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of personality of Godhead. So he surrendered to Sukadeva Goswami. So yesterday already Prabhu explained that how he could leave everything and he was able to surrender at just a moment. So here we are able to see that how he was able to surrender. The word has been used here, juṣatāṁ. Juṣatāṁ means he was engaged in the service of Lord. So it is very important that how he was engaged. But for what he was engaged? Because in this material world also people, they are engaged in different activities. So here it is saying tat-kathāmṛtam. Tat-kathāmṛtam means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the glories. He was engaged in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is very important, that yes, how we are also engaged in the hearing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this connection we will see the two examples. One is material example and one is spiritual example. That how when we are hearing about the glories, so what happens? So in Rukmani Devi, when she heard the glories of Lord Krishna from Narad Muni, she was attracted towards Lord Krishna, and ultimately she decided that yes, I will marry only Lord Krishna. Although marriage was fixed, everything was arranged. At the last moment also, she was constantly thinking that yes, Lord Krishna will come and he will accept me. So she was constantly remembering, constantly thinking about Lord Krishna, and she was totally in that remembrance. She was surrendered to Lord Krishna. The second example we see the outside of material world. People also, they hear the kathā-amṛtam, but this is not the kathā-amṛtam. This is like something mundane. Sometimes we become very surprised also that how, although in spite of knowing all the things that yes, how it is harmful for them, but still they are mad after them. Because they have heard so much glories about those all nonsense things. It's clearly visible. If you see in a packet of cigarette, it's already written, smoking is dangerous. And the figure is also, the picture also they made, that you will get cancer, different pictures are there. So I was just thinking that, see, how much they are mad, that in spite of seeing the facts that yes, these all things are going to happen, but their mind has got somewhere else. They are just stuck to that yes, no, this is not the correct thing. If I, take these all things, what will happen? I will be cool. My life is, like success. I can show to the people that yes, I am somewhere. I have achieved perfection in my life. So their perfection in their life is so that how much they are mad. They are seeing every time that yes, one person he has suffered, another person he has suffered, but still their mind is not giving a clue also to them that yes, you have to withdraw from all these activities. This is not good for you. But here we are seeing that how, as a devotee, those who are hearing the katha about the glories of Lord Krishna, they are just engaged, they are submerged in the thoughts of Lord Krishna and they are not able to experience anything outside. People, they say that they are suffering sometimes. As we are able to see that how Parikshit Maharaj, he is about to die. For the outsider it may be miseries, that yes, he is going to die. The same thing we are able to see that how the outsiders also they are suffering, but still they are not able to come out from those addictions. But here in Krishna consciousness, although so many challenges and so many things are coming, but still devotees are submerged in the thoughts of Lord Krishna. And they are not experiencing these external pains. So in the back also, in the second sloka, it's written that furthermore, Maharaj Parikshit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead. Maharaj Parikshit was consciously surrendered to Supreme Personality Godhead. Externally it is appearing that he is a king, he is a Visayi, he is doing all the management. How come he is surrendered? I am not able to see that how he is surrendered. Sometimes question comes because outside people also, when they see, oh, devotees are also working, I am also working, what is the difference? The difference is that they have surrendered everything to the Supreme Personality Godhead. But externally many times they may not be able to understand. Just to understand this, Prabhupada gave a very nice example. Nice example of a lady who is having a pada-ambujam. So the lady, she is working all the household activities very nicely. Nobody is able to understand in the house that, oh, she is having some another connection outside of the house. And she is working everything like expertly, everything perfect. Cooking on time, children was sent on time, husband was sent on time, everything is time, everything. But internally she is meditating about the pada-ambujam. So here also, all the Parikshit Maharaj is looking, oh, he is a very Visayi, doing all the administration work, giving some punishment, doing all the activities. But he is totally surrendered. It's very important that how they have surrendered everything. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is saying, what is that sloka? Tesam satatayuktānaṁ bhajatāṁ priti-purvakam. How the devotees they are remembering Krishna? Satatāṁ. The word has been used, satatāṁ. And how they are? Priti-purvakam. This is very important. That how they are serving the Lord in a very pleasing, favorable way. So this was in the case of Parikshit Maharaj, that how he was also constantly engaged. As the word has been used here, juṣatāṁ, constantly engaged. Because sometimes people they think that, oh, I have done my devotional service for quite, like 1 year or 2 years, so now I can go back to Godhead. But here we have to be engaged constantly, juṣatāṁ, in the glories of the Supreme Personality Godhead, tat-kathāmṛtam. Then Krishna is giving the dadami buddhi yogam tam, yena mamupyanti. So Krishna is giving that remembrance. And this remembrance is very important. Why here in the purport also Prabhupada writes that it becomes very difficult at the time of death. Because at the time of death, we get the pain of, according to the Padma Puran, 40,000 scorpion bites. So very difficult to remember the Supreme Personality Godhead. But Krishna is giving this remembrance. And that's why in the today's verse also, it is said, sambhrama. That there is a chance. What is that chance? That we will have the misconception. That what to do? Because when the death comes, we become bewildered that to whom do we have to take shelter. At that time, we may not able to remember Krishna, but Krishna is so merciful that he gives that dadami buddhi yogam, that he gives the remembrance to us so that we can remember Lord Krishna at the time of death. This happens again and again, because those who have served also, we see in the life of Ajamil that how he served, still because of out of compassion of Lord Krishna, he could utter the name of Narayan, although it was the name of his son. So he got the benefit, but here Lord Krishna is giving that assurance that yes, I will give you the buddhi, the intelligence, so that you can remember me at the time of death. Because in that extreme pain, it becomes very difficult for us to remember Lord Krishna. This is one of the instances what happens when we are surrendered to Lord Krishna. Then again, if we are going further ahead, sometimes it is also happens that we can say by the will of providence, this happens that we may not able to go back to in this lifetime because of some curse and other thing. Like we saw in the life of Chitraketu. Chitraketu, such an exalted devotee. He got darshan of Sankarsan, always submerged in the thought of Lord Krishna. But what happened? Suddenly a curse. Parvati Devi, she gave a curse that you become a demon. So in demon body, it becomes very difficult to remember Krishna. Because the nature of the demon become envious of Lord Krishna. So it becomes very difficult that how we can also remember Lord Krishna at the time. But in the next sloka, so here Lord Krishna is saying in the 10th chapter, in the 11th verse, Tesam evanukampartham aham agyan ajam tama. Anukampartham means out of compassion, out of mercy, Lord Krishna is giving jnana dipena. He is giving the knowledge. And what he is doing? Removing the ignorance from that body. So in the Vritrasur life, we can see that he was a demon. So in a demon body, going further, this demon body, even in the human body also, remembering Lord Krishna is very difficult because we are in ignorance. And demon body, the body itself is giving us all the favorable condition so that we can forget about Krishna. And we have only one remembrance, that how to fight against Krishna. So this was the condition in the demon body. But because of the mercy of Lord Krishna, the anukampa, because of that anukampa, he was able to remember Lord Krishna. And the remembrance, when it is coming, again in the battlefield. He is fighting with Indra so severely. Although Indra has the Vraj, this thunderbolt, but still he is feeling weak. He is feeling morose that such a nice fighter, Vritrasur, such powerful personality, I am not going to win. And he is not fighting. And Vritrasur is thinking that if he will not fight, I will not be able to come out from this body. How can I again go back and rejoin my services to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And then he gives nice counseling to him. And on the battlefield, it's such a nice counseling that Indra is thinking, is he my enemy or he is my friend? He becomes sometimes puzzled that what is he talking. Then again thinking so much that he understood that yes, he is talking about only Lord Krishna and pure devotional service. And he is praising. So I'll just read some of the words actually. So Indra is saying, first Vritrasur is saying, since everything is dependent on the supreme will of the Personality Godhead, one should be equipoised in fame and defamation, victory and defeat, life and death, in their effects represented as happiness and distress, one should maintain oneself in equilibrium without anxiety. So Vritrasur is giving a nice counseling to Indra that yes, you should fight, giving encouraging words to him so that he can continue. And then Indra is saying to him, Indra said, O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality Godhead, the Super Soul and friend of everyone. So after hearing all this katha, Indra is praising. So on the battlefield also he is giving Krishna katha to him. Sometimes in the human body we are not able to do, but in a demon body, because of the mercy of Lord Krishna, he is having that remembrance, so that he could give this Krishna katha in the body of a demon. So this is the kripa, or the mercy of Lord Krishna, anukampa. Because of that, the jnana is lit in our heart, and by that we are able to give to others. So this is how the mercy is flowing from the Lord. So this all mercy is flowing through the parampara, as Prabhupada writes in the purport, that this all mercy, everything is coming from the parampara, when we are taking shelter of Lord Krishna. And that's how here, although he was fully surrendered to Lord Krishna, and he was knowing that where he is going. In the third, we can see, in the third purport, is saying, unless one thoroughly understands the superior or eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy. Because material energy also we are earning with so much hard endeavor. So much hard endeavor we are earning this all material energy. So leaving this material energy, it becomes very difficult, because you have the attachment, because you have earned all these things with your hard labor. But we see, when you know that yes, you are going to achieve something higher, you are least bothered about these small things. I saw for a job, one person struggled so hard, with this referral, that referral, somehow he got a job. And then he was very happy that yes, I have got this job, so now I have job. He was working. He was, nicely situated, like all the relationship with the manager, with the peers, everything was very good. There was no problem. There was no question that he is going to leave, because boss was also praising him, and it was looking that he is going to get nice hike in his salary. It was very nice. But suddenly, after like some month, he got a very nice proposal, more than double of this salary. And then he was least bothered. He gave the notice period, and he was okay, somehow he was working. So he was not thinking that, oh, I am losing this job. Although for this job, he struggled so hard. Although material, he struggled so hard. But now he left it. So see, this material energy also, whatever we are receiving, when we are getting something higher, we leave it. And this is the spiritual thing for which we all are aspiring. And as we are able to see that how Parikshit Maharaj was, consciously he was surrendered to the Supreme Personality Godhead. Consciously, he was just waiting. Okay, when the chance is going to come, that when I will leave this world. We see all the devotees, they are just seeing that, okay, when is my last time? I can totally devote myself in Krishna Katha. Because Krishna Katha is only important, because for all the things in the teachings of Queen Kunti in the chapter 19, Prabhupada said very nice. Prabhupada is saying, when the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other process becomes automatically perfect in their own way. So Prabhupada is stressing so much that yes, how when the hearing process is perfect, when we are hearing about Krishna Katha. So always we are submerged when we in that situation. Then it becomes very easy to leave this material world. We are not able to understand what is happening. And this all because of the mercy of the spiritual master and the parampara. The mercy of the spiritual master is so much that he infuses this Krishna Katha in the heart of the disciples. And they are not able to understand the external miseries of this material world. This is possible. Many times we feel that, this is not possible. No, this is possible because of the mercy of the parampara and the spiritual master who is coming in the disciplic succession. Because we have seen in this ISKCON also, when this Bombay project was happening, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he goes to Prabhupada and he says that we want running water, we want some shelter and all this thing. Prabhupada says, you want purification or not? Like very heavy statement. But he accepted that statement. Why I am saying this past time? Because so severe condition was there, because big mosquitoes were there, they were biting, they were not having any shelter. That was one thing. Then there was the big rats were there and they were coming, and in the night they were biting, and some of the devotees there, one finger was missing in the morning. It was written that some devotees' fingers were also missing. But because they were so tired, whole day they were working. Why they were working? Because of fulfilling the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because Srila Prabhupada wanted it, just to please Srila Prabhupada, they all were working so hard day and night. This was the condition how they were living. This is one part. The second part, the gundas, all the hooligans, they were coming one by one, sent by Dr. Nair, that how to take them away from this land. So many problems, so many things were coming in their life, but still they were not able to experience that pain, because the happiness which they were deriving from serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, that was much higher for them than these all external pains. So yes, a spiritual master is creating this favorable ambience for us so that we can go back to Godhead. Because our mind is not allowing, actually, when we are in the disease condition, our mind is not allowing that, yes, how to take shelter of Lord Krishna, how to take shelter of this Krishna Katha. In the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Prabhupada writes in that purport, just read. Prabhupada is saying, the first and foremost of such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. This is a powerful transcendental method for purifying the mind and all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. So this is the 6th chapter, 35th verse, where Krishna is saying, when Arjuna gives that it's very difficult to control the mind, Chanchal Himana Krishna. Then Krishna is saying, Asansaya Mahabaho Mano Dunigraha Chalam Abhyasena tu Konteya. Abhyasena Konteya. What is saying? You have to do Abhyas. And then Prabhupada in the last second he is saying, hearing of the transcendental activities of the Lord Krishna is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind. Expert treatment for the mad mind. Because this mad mind is not allowing us to take shelter of Lord Krishna. As in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Manas asthani indriyani prakriti karsati. That because of these 6 senses, which includes the mind, these all living entities, they are struggling in this material world, because the mind is mad. He is not thinking about Krishna. He is not having the appetite to listen about Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying it is expert treatment for the mad mind. So that's how Parikshit Maharaj understood that yes, now I have to totally submerge now about Krishna consciousness. And I should not give a least chance also at the end, as in the today's sloka is saying, do not run the risk of having misconception even at the last moment of their life. Don't run this risk. Don't take this risk. So how much actually is for me that how much I should be submerged in the thought of Lord Krishna, because I don't know when I am going to leave. But for Parikshit Maharaj, it was very easy that he was having nice, favorable ambience where all the devotees are assembled, and Parikshit Maharaj is there, Sukdev Goswami is there just to give him Krishna Katha. So nice situation for him, but for me it may not be. So that's why I should be very careful about the thoughts. And Prabhupada is so nicely, he gave the engagement, 24 hours engagement for us. Yes, if we are not able to remember Lord Krishna, okay, you do this service. In this 10th chapter only, Krishna is giving so many ways that how I can remember about Krishna. Different vibhutis, different opulences of Lord Krishna. Just by seeing that, we can remember Lord Krishna, if we are not able to directly remember. So Krishna is how merciful that he is giving again and again so many chances. That yes, if you are not able to remember like this way, you remember this way, this way. So it becomes very easy. Why? Because of the Guru Parampara. Because of the disciplic succession. Because here in the Prabhupada writes in the purport that yes, we have to hear this from self-realized soul, or how we have to hear service and submission. If this is not there, then we may not be able to understand this Srimad Bhagavatam. When this Srimad Bhagavatam was about to begin, and demigods also, they were knowing that yes, this Srimad Bhagavatam is such a nice nectar that if I take this kathā-amṛtam, then we can go back to Godhead. So the demigods also, they came to hear this Krishna Katha. But the mistake what they did, they came with a pot of nectar. It's written a very nice conversation with Sud Goswami and Saunak Rishi in the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatma. It starts from 12th sloka to 17. A very nice conversation where it is explained that yes, how these demigods, they came with a pot of nectar, and he is giving to Sukdev Goswami so that Sukdev Goswami can deliver this Srimad Bhagavatam. But Srimad Bhagavatam, we cannot purchase it by giving some material energy or material thing. Sukdev Goswami immediately rejected the demigods, immediately, that you all are not qualified. Why? Because you wanted to purchase this Srimad Bhagavatam, exchange with this nectar. This nectar is nothing in front of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So because the causeless mercy of the spiritual master and the Guru Parampara, they are infusing this Krishna consciousness in the heart of disciple. This is their causeless mercy. That's why we recite daily this verse. Samsara dava nalida loka tranaya karunya ghana ghana. This ghana ghanatam, this material world, such blazing fire. But the spiritual master is so merciful that he is bringing this cloud and extinguish this forest fire of this material existence, so that we can go back to Godhead. This is very important, because we saw in the life of Srila Prabhupada also that how his spiritual master appreciated one of the qualities. We appreciated one of the qualities that Abhay Babu wants to hear. Abhay Babu wants to hear about Krishna Katha. When in the Vrindavan, all the devotees, when this Vrindavan Parikrama was happening, Bhakti Sri Thakur took so many devotees from here, and many of them, they went to see different deities in different temples. But this A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he was sitting and hearing Krishna Katha from his spiritual master. And his spiritual master appreciated that, yes, he is having the nice quality that he likes to hear. Because we can see Krishna through the ears, the glories. When we hear the glories of Lord Krishna, then we can serve Lord Krishna in a very nice way. But if we don't hear the glories of Lord Krishna, then we may not able to give the proper respect and proper way to receive or to serve him. So all the acharyas, they know, and that's why they are giving these facilities that, yes, how we can hear about Krishna. And the Bhagavad Gita also saying that anta-kāle ca mameva smaranmukta, ki anta-kāle, at the last moment, how we are remembering, what we are remembering. So until unless we are submerged in the katha of Lord Krishna, it becomes very difficult for us to come out. So many glories about this Krishna Katha. Prabhupada, he has written, let us see, in the 7th chapter, when he is saying, tat-srinu, the word has been come, the tat-srinu. So Prabhupada, in the purport, he writes so many slokas, one by one, that how, if you do this, what will happen? What will happen? One by one series is there, that how, what is the effect of Krishna Katha when we are hearing. He is saying, Shinvatam sa katha Krishna punya shravan kirtana ridyantasto abhadrani vidhunoti suhridsatam. Ridyanta abhadrani, all the abhadra, all the dirty things, whatever they are in our heart, we become purified from this Krishna Katha. Then he is saying, Nashta prayesho bhadresho nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama-śloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. The naistic bhakti comes. Whatever abhadra things are there, it is vanished. But how it is vanished? Nityam bhagavata sevaya. Every time we recite. And that's why we see in the life of Parikshit Maharaj, he was consciously surrendered to Lord Krishna. Consciously. That's why so many activities are there for us also, so that we can totally engage ourselves in Lord Krishna, in the remembrance, in the thoughts of Lord Krishna. So one by one, he gives so many slokas. Then he is saying, Tadarajastamo bhavo kamalo bhadaschaye chechetar anavedhim sthitam sattve prasidati. When we are hearing about Krishna Katha, we are coming to the platform of Suddha Sattva. So one by one, that yes, these all things will go away. You just hear about Krishna Katha. Give yourself to Krishna Katha. And then everything automatically for which we all are aspiring, we all will achieve it. He is saying, Vidyate ridya granthi chidyante sarva samsaya siyante shasma karmani drishta evatmanishvare. Ridya granthi, whatever attachments we have, these all will go away because of this Krishna Katha. Because of this Hriday Granthi, our Hriday becomes Daurbalyam, Hriday Daurbalyam, because we are not able to come to the right conclusion. But because of the mercy of this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are able to cut these knots and we are totally surrendered. That's how we are seeing that how Parikshit Maharaj, when he was consciously engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, for him it was very easy to leave all these things, just for a moment. But if we have some attachment, some kind of attachment, we may not be able to leave all these things. So this Krishna Katha is so important that one by one, how these all things are knots are cut and we are totally engaged in the service of Lord Krishna. So very nicely Prabhupada in the 7th chapter, first verse he explained about that the importance of hearing, that how when we are hearing about this Krishna Katha, what happens to our life. So I'll just summarize here what we discussed in today's class. Today's class we discuss about the hearing, how we can hear about Krishna Katha and the importance of hearing about Krishna Katha. So in that we saw that how Parikshit Maharaj, he was consciously surrendered to the service of Lord Krishna. And by surrender ourselves to this Krishna Katha, we are free from this material world. And even sometimes if by the will of providence, we are not able to complete, but Krishna's anukampa is so much that in the next life also, whatever ignorance we have in our heart, it will go away by the mercy of Lord Krishna. And we should aspire from this Krishna Katha, because if we are not aspiring for this Krishna Katha, then we will not have the attachment for this Krishna Katha. And we will have another attachment for the materially whatever opulences and other engagements we have. And as Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad Gita, he gives so many examples about this, that our mind, how it is binding us, but the nice treatment is Krishna Katha. And when we are hearing about this Krishna Katha, our whatever anarthas are there, it's going away. We are getting Naistik Bhakti in our fixed, in our Krishna consciousness. And whatever attachment is there, it's like cut into pieces. And we are able to take shelter of Lord Krishna. And that's the perfect example is Parikshit Maharaj, that how he was also engaged in Krishna Katha and he was able to cut all the knots immediately without any further delay. Hare Krishna. So I stop here. If anyone has any question or comments, I can take. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Why did the lady have to have a paramour when she already had a husband?
I just gave the example just to understand that how we are engaged, like how the lady, she was engaged in the household activity and nobody was knowing. So here also Parikshit Maharaj is engaged in the worldly affair. So externally people, they are not able to understand that how he is a devotee, how come he is able to live. Because internally he was totally engaged in the service of Lord Krishna. Our disengagement is externally. So that's just to understand that I gave the example. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, you said, you gave a very good example, like when a person is searching for a job, he works very hard, then immediately as soon as he gets double offer, he immediately leaves up everything and goes for that. So like that in our life, how will we develop that higher taste for Krishna consciousness? Like, because we have the lower taste, that's why we don't develop the enthusiasm or whatever for practicing bhakti. So how we develop that higher taste?
If Prabhu likes, he can say. Okay, so as Prabhupada is writing that in the 7th chapter, in the verse, he is saying, Nasta prayasu abhedrisu. As much the dirt is go away from our heart, that much we are able to experience more and more. That's why many places you can see that Prabhupada is saying, what is the effect that you have chanted nice quality rounds? That you will chant more. So as we are more engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, and in the beginning I would say that whatever is favorable or whatever is good for us, if we engaged in that in the beginning, then we will get more enthusiasm. Like in the beginning, some of them, those who are having like, they know violin, how to play, or some of them, they know how to do mridanga. They are just, you see in the Guru Puja, they play so nicely and they feel so ecstasy. As you see, I have played so nicely. So in the beginning it may be good, and gradually as everything like whatever anarthas goes away, then we start experiencing we can say higher taste in all the activities of Lord Krishna. then there is no discrimination. That's why we saw in the life of Amrish Maharaj that how he was totally engaged in all the 9 limbs of the activities of devotional service.
So basically, we have to increase our engagement in devotional service. Then
Yes.
we'll develop. Is that?
Yeah, yes. And in the shelter of those who are coming in the parampara, so that we can be nicely saved. Because many times it may happen that some problem may come, but when you are under shelter of the whoever is coming in the parampara, then you are getting nice instruction. Because we see, when we perform our devotional service, we get some of the challenges also. That's why we see in the life of Prabhupada that how he received so many letters regarding so many problems. I am doing this service, I am getting this problem. But Prabhupada, he gave nice counseling, he gave nice answers to them that how they have to do, where is the problem. So there is a person who is going to help us. So this is the mercy of the parampara. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare.